So, check this out, people. I am at the Astro Hotel in Guadalupe, here in the Philippines. I've stayed in Astrotel Hotel in Cubao before, about a month ago, right? And I did a review on that hotel. I'm not exactly sure, I think I gave it a 6 out of 10. And usually that's pretty high, right? But after I gave it the rating and I turned off the camera, I realized that after walking in my socks, that the floor wasn't very clean, right? And I wish I had noticed that before, because if I had, then I would not have given the Astrotel in Cubao the rating that I did. I would have given it a lower rating, right? And so I'm here now in Guadalupe, and I'm staying in the Astrotel here. And as usual, like most places in the Philippines, you will see a beautiful picture online. You will see a beautiful picture on Agoda, Booking.com. And then when you show up, it's not like the pictures, right? The place looks run down. It looks a mess, right? So when I showed up here, I wasn't impressed, right? I wasn't impressed because when I first entered the building, I noticed that they were doing construction, right? Which is a good thing, right? Usually when you come into a building and you see that an area is closed off, that they're doing repairs or they're doing upgrades, right? But nobody really wants to see that when they check into a hotel, right? And so when I got to my floor, on the 5th floor, I noticed that they had some rooms closed off, right, with sheets. And there was a lot of noise going on. They were doing construction, remodeling, right? They were ripping up the tile floors and preparing to lay down some new tiles, which is also a good sign, right? You don't want to walk into this mess when you're checking into a hotel, because frankly you want peace, right? So that wasn't a good thing for me. Needless to say, at 8 o'clock this morning, the banging, the noise, and everything else was going on due to the remodeling of the rooms, right? And so when I got here, not only were they doing the construction, but the rooms were not as the pictures portray them to be, right? They're not as clean, they're not as pretty. A lot of things are broken. I'll show you what the room looks like after this. But now that I've said all of this, right, about the place looking run down and everything, a good sign about what's happening is the fact that they're doing construction, right? Nobody likes to hear the noise. Nobody wants to be in a place where, there's dust flying around. But it's a good sign, because it means that hopefully 6 months from today or a year from today, every room will be upgraded or updated, right? And so they have about 5 rooms on the 5th floor that are closed up. And I peeked into one of them, and you can see they tore up the tile floor, and they're going to lay down some new tile. They're remodeling the room. So hopefully within 6 months or so, the place will look the way the pictures look when you go online to book the Astrotel in Guadalupe, right? And they're doing the same downstairs. They're already laying down the new tile. So for anyone who's considering a place to stay here in the Philippines, in the Metro Manila area, the Astrotel is not a place where, if you want luxury, you're not going to get that, right? But if you want a cheap stay and you don't want to spend a lot of money, this is a perfect place to stay, right? And if you decide to come within a few months, by the time you get here, I guarantee that the Astrotel Guadalupe in Metro Manila will look a lot better than it looks today while I'm staying here, right? So this is what the room looks like. When I booked it, it's not what I expected, but you know, at least there's hot water, there's AC. The staff is pretty courteous. If I have to rate this place on a scale from 1 to 10 today, I'd probably give it a 4. And that's because of the construction that's going on. Actually, the construction is the reason why I'm giving it a 4. Because if not for the construction, I'd probably give it a 3. The fact that they're doing the construction shows that they at least have the sense to say, hey, we need to upgrade, we need to update these rooms and make them look better. So if it wasn't for that, I'd probably give the place a 3, right? And that's because it's run down. A lot of things are broken in here, and it doesn't look as nice as the pictures. So this is what the room looks like. So this is the long hallway, right? This is my room here. You can see where they have a room closed off, and they're ripping up the floor, getting ready to lay out some new tile, right? And there's about 5 rooms that look like this. You can see these 2 where they're also remodeling. So hopefully by the time this year is over, most of these rooms will be remodeled. So this is what the place looks like. I've already spent the night, so it's a little messy. So this is what the tiles look like right now. I don't know what they're going to look like after they've done the remodeling. The room is, I would say, pretty big compared to some rooms where I've stayed before. This is my bed. And this usually lights up at night. It should be lit up now, but because the sun is out, you can't see it, right? You have a window, not much of a view. You have the AC, and you have a 42-inch screen television with a small table and mirror here. No chair to sit on. They don't provide sandals, slippers, or anything. And this is what I mean by rundown, right? Because when you look at the ads, they don't show that this is going on, right? A lot of these things you see where, you know, the place starts to fall apart and they don't repair, they don't do proper maintenance. And that's one of the things that I hate about a lot of the places I stay here in the Philippines, is that, you know, they have good service, but they lack on maintenance. And so here you see some mold on the wall. The bathroom is pretty clean. You know, when I came in, it was relatively clean. But they got hot water, which is good. And hopefully within the next few months, if I return back here, I will see an improvement. But this is pretty much it. The Astrotel Guadalupe in Metro Manila. Not that expensive, about $15 a night. If you book online, if you show up and you try to book a room here at the front desk, it's going to cost you double. So better to book online. And for the price, it's not too bad. So thanks for watching, people. Have a good day and have a good night.